Didn't do the meditation. Going live. There we go. There we go. I'm live. Okay. Hello and welcome. Sorry about that. I just didn't go bang. Here I am. I need to have like sparkles and everything on and stuff. So yeah. So welcome everybody. I am outside today. It's going up to plus 30, I think, today. And so it's going to be kind of cold. I hardly ever wear this shirt, so I just thought, what the hell, I'm going to wear it today. Um, start wearing this stuff, and I like this one. It's a pretty shirt. I like it. Now I might have to move because I'm in the sun. The sun is really creeping up on me, and so I might have to move again. Um, so I'm more in the shade. So yeah. I was thinking, you know what I need behind me, just over over there, is that I need a tent. I need to have my tent back and just have it. Everybody can use it, but I could put a table and stuff in there in the tent and stuff. So, but anyways, I digress. Let's get into the crazy energies that are going on right now. And some of the nuttiness that's going on. And this is where, with the cosmic weather, I got the cosmic weather report for everything, and then we're going to get into some other energies about Neptune and Mars and Uranus and Saturn and all of the fun dudes that are actually the ones that are kind of being the director. We are moving into a time and an age that, especially since Pluto is not going out of Aquarius, it's staying there in Aquarius, it's not going back into Capricorn. So this new age, this new vibration of the world is unfolding before us. And we don't have the full concept of it. And the old world isn't gone away, like it's still there. If you ever watch some of these vloggers that do, they do period things like from 1930s and 1940s. And I watched one was a 1930s housewife and a 1940s housewife. And there were similarities, but how the change was that happened in their routine and the things that they do, some of the innovations that came in for them. So you could see like the fundamentals of beauty and health were really a part of the 30s and 40s and even the 50s. Kind of like that health part started to really change in a new way, right? In that time era. Anyways, this is where we have a week that is as I was saying yesterday, it's a cosmic dress rehearsal. And one where lights flicker, the stage cracks, the actors forget their lines. This is where we are going to be seeing some really craziness come out um, around us. But Spirit is directing every moment. Like there is a spiritual guide here. And we have moved into a world of self reliance. Like we're totally self-reliant on ourselves. Like I'm going to do it. I'm going to get things done. Nobody can do it except for me. I can't let anybody else do it. And that's where there's this shift. It's not to be self-reliant. This is a shift that's really coming in with spirit, that's getting us to really come and be more reliant on the divine, allowing for that divineness. And I know for myself and the way things are shifting in my own world where coming into, especially with the Sacred Summer series, and then I'm going to have the fall series, right? So these series that are coming in are creating a vibration of wanting to come back into the oneness with divine. And that's really where the energies are really pushing us. This is where we are the pioneers now of this historical. I mean, there is no historical roadmap, right? Sorry, there's a lot of construction in my neighborhood. A house went down Across the street, a house is going down behind me. So there's a lot of construction in my whole neighborhood right now. So only the stars and the signs are and our sacred self truth trust. We have the sun is in Cancer still. And we are going to be having on July the 10th, we're going to be having a full moon in Capricorn. And that's going to really be highlighting a lot of institutions and government and how we are creating and what is that newness that we are wanting to release and let go of. The moon in Virgo, the Libra, we move from precision and healing into a connection of harmony by this week's end. We also have with Mars, and it's coming up, and we're going to get into more of that coming into the conjunction of the South Node. This is a pressure cooker, right? Old patterns, irritation, pissy people, a lot of pissy people. You're going to find a lot of pissy people. And watching your reaction meter, watching how you react to all of this is going to be extremely important as things unfold. Choosing the grace and not the combustion. That's going to be like that could be a mantra. Choose grace, not combustion. Choose grace, not combustion. That's going to be a huge mantra for us to be saying this week. We also have with Venus, that's going to be conjuncting in Taurus. So this is sparks that are going to fly. This is where this could become very electrical, both positive and negative. Could be love, could be unexpected attractions, sudden changes in money, beauty, or self-worth. And unpredictability. So because it's Uranus. So we have all of this energy that's coming in and floating in around us. And Neptune is stationed retrograde, and it's going retrograde on Friday, July the 4th, in 2 days. So this is to reevaluate our illusions, dissolve dreams that once looked flawless and might now show their seams. But it's not to despair. This is about this. This is a gift of clarity. So this week, we're looking into a lot of tension. We're seeing things unfold. There is the democratic socialist who in which is very interesting to be watching this new mayor that's coming into um, New York, right? And you think, well, that's New York. It won't have any. Oh, you're going to see some fallout with that if he gets, because for him, I mean, his everything is very choreographed. His TikToks, everything. It's just amazing to watch him. Like Trump's calling him a communist. Um, I don't trust anybody who really like the socialist regime. I mean, yes, I understand having healthcare and helping kids to get educated and stuff. But I also believe that we should be giving back and not have total government control over things. Because soon as he mentioned about having control over food, Uranus and Taurus at the end, craziness coming in, government's taking over food. I mean, you heard Turban Boy talk about that. And, that government should have more control over the grocery stores. And a lot of people are like, yeah, groceries are so high. But people don't realize that, okay, what is that implication to the farmers, right? What is that implication to you? Because now, if he's controlling the grocery stores, what else is controlling? People don't, it's just like they don't know where their food comes from, right? So that means that there would be a control over how the farmers farm and how much they can farm and how much they can come in. I mean, we already have it with our dairy system. I mean, that's why our dairy is so high. It's because, do you know how much thousands of liters dairy farmers throw out in Canada? It is ridiculous, right? It is ridiculous how much. And people, I mean, I've known this since I was a kid. I was appalled when I did a paper on it and talking about it. And and everybody was saying, well, no, it's for health regulations and making sure that, our cows aren't getting all this pesticides and whatever, antibiotics. I'm like, they still get the antibiotics. They still put it in. 'Cause they still, I mean, the one thing about having, especially if anybody's raised any cattle, you got to keep your cattle happy, right? And your dairy happy. So this is really a precedence of really seeing how things are changing and how, and it's unwritten, how things are unfolding for us all. And with this energy, and this is a cosmic detox. Now, we just also seen that Diddy got off. And that's because you got to look at the charges that were put upon him, right? And he wasn't put up on abuse charges, he was put up on trafficking. And that's the whole thing. It's like a lot of people don't understand what trafficking is. They're thinking it in a totally different way, right? So there is a whole I think a misunderstanding of how, what the charges really mean. And I just think there's some foul play that's done in there, but anyways, it is what it is, and how horrific that is. But this is where it's coming in, where we have to look at um, how we can release reactive behaviors and outdated dreams, embrace uncomfortable truths, flow with what is ready to move, especially within our body, your relationship, your creative desires. This is about, when I say not to be self reliant, I don't mean being reliant on the government. I don't mean reliant on, other, things like that. I mean being reliant on your divine, being guided by God, coming into that cosmic energy, and doing your prayers and meditations. Always said that. Do your prayers and meditations, connecting with the divine by reading um, positive blogs or books, prayer books, things like that. That's, I mean, the more we start coming back into that, the more we're going to see a redefinition of how people are reactive to things, where they're not being so divided. There's such anger right now in the world. I mean, I think I talked a little bit about the one in Glasgow, and it's all over the news. The young boy um, from Glasgow, and the thing is that when you see such crazy anger like that, and I mean, I've walked down the street and I've seen people that are, especially in Calgary here, where people are just nutters, like total nutters, and they shouldn't be on the street, but yet they are, and they're going. My first thing that I do is I pray. I do. I call in Archangel Michael. I pray, and I pray for that person. They don't usually bother me because I feel like automatically, as soon as you start to pray, you're starting to connect with that cosmic force, that cosmic energy to come forth and to be around you. And it deflects their energy because they can't come in. I've even had a time where I was, I'm going to say, attacked when I was doing a tour, a ghost tour, and this gentleman was just released from rehab. Um, and he was just angry. He was angry at the church. He was angry at colonization. He was angry at everything. And this boy was over 6 feet tall. Like he was about 6'5", I would put it, because I think I only came up to his, like, almost just above his waist, if that. But when he came after me, like, because I intervened with him, and as he was going after another woman, and he grabbed my hand like that, and I twisted and I got out of it, and I looked him straight in the eye, and he turned around. He could not continue to confront me, right? Because I was calling I was calling in Jesus. I was calling in the archangels, and I was asking for protection over our um our tour, right? So anyways, this is the thing, is that we're going to be seeing more of these crazy outrages, is because people are going off on the deep end, and they don't know how to deal with it. Now, I'm going to have to move. I'm going to take you guys. We're going to go on a little trip into the shade. Ooh. Oh, that's so much better. There we go. You can see me. We're going into the shade. Now, I got to find a table that's going to help me out here. Well, make sure there's no poo because we have dogs out here. Um, yeah. Oh, okay. Anyways, might have to do this. Might have to go inside, actually. We might have to go into the, we might have to go, follow me. I know I'm going to lose some people, but follow me as we go inside. We're going to go downstairs. I got to bring my coffee. We're going on a little trip. We're going down into the laundry room. So, all right. Uh, 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 uh. go. That goes down. I'm not going to lose you guys. You guys got to stay with me on this trip as we go down into the laundry room. That's where we're going. And I got a little side door to the laundry room. And of course, you hear the dog as we come in. Whoa, spilt the coffee, but it's in the laundry room. So there we go. And we're coming in here. Come on in to the laundry room. Whoa. And whose sock is that? TNA. All right, so stay with me as we bring in the cosmic energies. There we go. Okay, we're in the laundry room now, people. Welcome. We go from outside to inside because there's a lot to move if I had to go in on the oh boy. If I had to go back in on move the table and stuff like that. So I might try and do that later. So here we are, back in the laundry room. Got the window open, got everything. There we go. No worries. Have a happy Wellness Wednesday. My amazing friend. Happy. Thank you. All right. Okay, let's go back in to the cosmic highway. So this is where we're at. We're at this sort of craziness within the world and the world around us, right? And looking at how we can embody this and our relationships and bringing in creative desires. So think of this as we're having a cosmic detox meets divine inspiration. Neptune's retrograde may feel like a bubble pop, but it's actually a wake-up call. So we're in the middle of a wake-up call to get real about what truly nourishes your soul. Now, as I was saying about that young gentleman who went after me, I mean, he was high on whatever, allegedly. And I've seen him around town before. And this is where it's like you see, like even when I was watching about that concert in Glastonbury, I was just watching and the anger and the hate. And when you see such anger and hate, that's when evil comes in. That's where the negativity comes in because it takes over. It takes over you, right? And there is no compassion. There's nothing in between. And I mean, they posted some of his posts afterwards. There was no remorse. Like to him, it was like, they deserve it. They deserve it. And I'm just like, so all he's saying to me, it's like he's saying all deserve this, what he was saying at Glastonbury. And I feel like this is not compassion. This is not understanding. This is not coming into that divineness. And a lot of people find that if they are coming into the spirituality, when they are coming to the one with God, that it's like, oh, this is so boring. This is just, oh, it's not moving right. I want the flashiness. This is why I hate people who experiment with witchcraft or they just dabble in shit. That is like, nah. And because in doing anything, you have to have an understanding and a respect for what you're doing. This is why when you are even for those who are going and say converting to Catholicism or even to Judaism, I mean, if you're going to become a Jew, I mean, it's a whole thing, right? You just can't walk into a synagogue and say, I want to be a Jew. I just want to practice and do the Torah for a moment. No, you there's a whole um meetings you meet with the rabbi and talking and classes and everything that you want to go. And if you're a man and you're not circumcised, there's another step there that you have to take. Same with if you're walking into any of the organized religions, you just don't walk in there and say, hey, I'm going to do this. I can do this. I can do that. Let me just go and practice. No, you have to understand the respect. And that's the same with anything. Like if you're going to go and say, I'm a witch and I'm going, no, how do you cast a circle? Why are you casting the circle? Are you uncasting the circle? Who are you bringing into the fucking circle? Like, and yeah, I know there's many out there. And I think that that has caused, this is what I have seen. Now, you guys can call me out on this. Okay. So you guys can call me out on this. But since the rise, and this is controversial. This is very controversial. And I know a lot of people are going to get pissed off at me. But since the rise of people going into paganism without instruction, without understanding, there's been a huge rise in evil as well. I said it. I said it. That's what I have noticed and that's what I have seen. Now, I'm not putting those down. I love Stonehenge. I'm a Stonehenge groupie. I love the energies of of our ancestors. I love the energies of having respect for those who've come before us. I love the shaman, but even with the shaman, you cannot go into ceremony with a shaman and think that you can take over that ceremony. There's a discipline in it all. And that's the part that people have let go of, is the discipline and respect of what it takes to do certain things. And they don't. They want the easy road. And the easy road gets you into freaking trouble. Hence, as I say, everything is spiritually guided right now in order for things to be revealed to us. And I feel that's what's happening right now. There's a whole reveal that's coming to everybody. Oh, I might lose connection. Redirecting. Oh, okay, you guys are back. Because I'm in the laundry room. I might lose connection. I might lose connection in the laundry room. But this is where it's like looking at how you're going to move your energy daily. Mars and Uranus, electrical tension. If energy is stuck, it it will find a dramatic way to move. So start your day with stretching, right? So after this, I'm going to be taking little yappity who out for a walk, right? Walking, deep breaths, right? What wants to flow through me today? Look at what that practice is. So how can I move the energies? How can I move this? And Uranus entering Gemini for 3 months means truths can no longer stay hidden. So we have to be brave. Say the things you've been afraid to say. I just did. With love. Where am I pretending? Where am I not allowing myself to have that truth in my life? Right? So these are some of the guidances that need to happen, and let go of the myths. What Neptune in retrograde, what it does is that you may feel the ache of disillusionments, but what's that, what if that's beginning of real love within our life, the true purpose, authentic success. So what fantasies do I need to grieve to get what's real? What do I need to do to get what's real? And that's a huge piece here for us. And looking at what's real. And I know what I have to do for my own self and for my own well-being and my family and how I want to go forward. And this isn't about airy fairiness. This isn't about disillusionment. This is about, okay, because we got Saturn here, man. Saturn is about what are the concrete, what is concrete that you are going to be putting into your life, right? What is that? What does it look like? And as you look at this, as you take a glimpse at that, how are you allowing that to grow? Right? Now the next thing is what is the message from the cosmos? Because you're not lost. We're being rerouted like a divine GPS, you know? Make a U-turn, make a U-turn, you know? You are not behind. You're being refined, right? There's something exquisitely humble about this energy and about what's happening this week. This is unapologetic revolutionary rising in your soul. You are being asked to stop waiting for someone else's permission and slip, right? And write your own. This is where when I see uprising, like right now, there was in Kenya, people are uprising, and that's the whole thing. It's like, well, I didn't know anything was happening in Kenya. Yeah, this has been pretty horrific in Kenya. I growing up, I had a very good friend, Aziza, and I remember when she um, came to our school. She was we had Ratan, we have Ratan, I love Ratan. Ratan, who is Hindi, and Aziza came in, she was Muslim. I had no idea what either of those were, you know, or what it was. I didn't even I had no I just they were my friends. That was it. They were my friends. But Aziza came in, and as she came in, she had to be doing her hair a certain way and stuff because of the death of her father. They lived in Kenya. They were a very well-off family that lived in Kenya, but they had land that grew flowers for flower. They had a flower orchards. I didn't know you had flower orchards, but there were flower orchards. And her flower orchards were their flowers would go around the world. They had servants. They had everything. Like and I guess the cousin or somebody from the government allegedly came in the middle like he was having death threats but came in the middle of the night and killed him beside Aziza's mom in the middle of the night, killed some of the um, servants as well. But what happened was that they had to escape. They had to get the hell out of Dodge. Her and her two children. It was her and her son. Aziza, her brother, and her mom had to leave. They ended up coming to Penticton because they had extended family here that brought them. Anyways, but where was I going with this story? But anyways, it was the acceptance of her and her coming in. And that's the whole thing. It's like coming in and accepting people for where they are and they accepting you for where you are. And bringing that forward. This is revolutionary. This is where oh yeah, she had a little sister too. This is where I feel we have to come together. And yet the division is forcing us not to, right? We're seeing things that are happening in our world that are inappropriate and anger that is coming forth, and we really need to step into a place where we can come into a togetherness, right? So this is where, you know, especially with Saturn. So Saturn wants to bring in organization, right? I was talking about the revolution in Kenya. People are uprising. People are wanting the change, but they're wanting to bring a change in a positive way. They're wanting to bring something new to the table. And they don't want, and that's the whole thing. It's like if you see that guy get elected in New York, you're going to see some crazy shit start to happen, right? He is a Muslim, but I think and he was a rapper too. But I feel like there's something there that is he's too clean cut and he's too radical. He's too clean cut and radical. That's what I see about his energy. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's nice. Look at him. But everything is just like, there's a lot there, right? So there's a lot there that's going on. But that's how the snake comes in. It's the illusion. It's everything. And that's what is these parts that are coming in astrologically are trying to make us aware, right? So we have to come together. This is where we can't, and I posted this. This is where hope is not naive, hope is holy. Come into that holiness, but it's not about waiting for a miracle. It's about becoming the one who can embody it. Become the one that can embody it. We have to look at where are our prejudices. And I have to look at that for my own self. Everybody has to, right? We're in an era of enchantment, disillusionment, and spiritual surfing. That's what we're in. And Neptune was in Pisces since 2011. And he's going to be there. He won't be fully into Aries until 2026 because he's retrograding back. Saturating the collective dreams, illusions, idealism, spirituality, and escapism. And we're longing for some union, like beyond the material. And it's been a cosmic spell for 15 years, right? We saw the rise of the woke, the alphabet community. We saw all of that within the last 15 years. So we've grown used to this Neptune retrograde in Pisces as an annual checkpoint, a veil thins, and what's beneath the glitter. But every year from June, July to December, Neptune slows down and turns inward. And we've had that, but there's still been, as it's done that, more of the illusions have come up, more of the craziness has been brought forth. This is where we are looking now into a deeper truth. And since we've been living in Neptune world for over a decade, social media dreams, false prophets, escapism, spirituality, romanticized love, this is where you're going to start seeing people coming out. They're not sitting on the couch drinking tea anymore. It's like, no, I want to get out there. I want to connect with people. This is why community, and with Pluto in Aquarius wanting to bring in that community, right? So Neptune's illusions are reaching breaking point. And then we have from, flashback from 1861 to 1875, we are about to transition from a watery, passive Pisces to fiery, pioneering Aries, and a shift that hasn't happened since the 1860s, an era that lit a fuse of massive global upheaval. American Revolution began as Neptune entered Aries. Old institutions collapsed. New ideals of freedom, identity, sovereignty. There was a disillusionment with authority, and yet a fierce rise of spiritual and political movement. That's when a whole thing came in about the spiritual movement really started to come in during that time too. And then Neptune entered Aries, and when Neptune enters Aries, the illusions will burn in February 20th, and it goes, 2026. This is where compassion, and we need courage. We'll need courage. Spirituality will meet activism, and the dreams become a call to action. 2025, this is a linear space, the final Neptunian retrograde in Pisces. This is where we're invited to grieve the illusions, thank them, and perhaps build a new myth rooted in action and not avoidance. Dr. Wayne Dyer always says, be thankful for your addictions. Give your addictions a thank, bless your addictions. So if you're an alcoholic, you bless your alcohol. Bless that time you were an alcoholic, you drug addict, whatever, sex addict, or if you're addicted to too much TV or whatever it is, you bless it. Food, you bless it, right? This is where it's like, so you have an understanding that, yeah, I'm not going to just walk away and try and disassociate it myself, because that was a part of me. I'm going to have an understanding, I'm going to bless it, and I'm going to look at that shadow side and allow myself to build a new myth rooted in action and not avoidance. And this is what we're going to have to ask ourselves. Where have I been holding on to the fantasies? Because it was easier. It's easier to hold on to this airy fairy type of energy, right? And looking for some way of not being responsible for my own self. And that's a huge one. Easy to be not responsible for my own self. And what dream is ready to evolve into something more grounded and more real? And what truth, however uncomfortable, is actually my liberation? Looking at what's going to be liberated for ourselves. So we are heading into some pretty crazy, futuristic mirage craziness, especially, in the 40s. They thought, with Uranus going into Gemini, I mean, airplanes, big airplanes, right? The atomic bomb. the first computer was made in Germany, hence why all the German scientists ended up going to the United States, right? The rockets, Germans, right? Who says that, the computer that they were using was pretty it was huge. Um, just bringing in information, data, having it looking at different data that they were feeding it, and looking at different ways of looking at the new data coming in, um, as well. So this is where it's like their look in the 1940s and the new world was very similar to how we look at AI and the things that are unfolding in our world, right? Very similar yet different. So this is where we, as dreamy, foggy, holy yet deceptions plant is still holding the torch. And she's walking with a blindfold through the dissolving world. And especially when we have the North Node in Pisces, that's what it is. And Neptune is still the dispositor of that destiny. So we have this whole illusionary, and they're in there for 18 months, probably been there for a while. I would say has about a year left, the North Node in Pisces. So this is where Neptune wants to teach us what myths have clung to your safety. What dreams have you outgrown? And can you surrender without escapism? Spiritually, Neptune's vibe is one of disillusion, divine love, ego death, especially as we move towards it being in Aries. And with all the other aspects that are unfolding, Mars approaching the South Node in Virgo, stress over details, responsibility, control, burnout is going to be huge. A lot of people are going to be feeling that, oh my God, this is overwhelming, this is too much. And a purge of toxic productivity and patterns. What is no longer aligned with you? And I mean, I've been looking at it back again. It's just it's with Leonie Dawson and a 10-hour work week. What does a 10-hour work week look like? Right? And then allowing myself just to do that, and then that's it. And so you're finding new ways to be productive during that time in order for me to get what I need done. And then you let the nervous system unwind, drop the guilt. You're not responsible for fixing the world, only aligning your puzzles, your piece of the puzzle. That's all you're responsible for. You're not responsible for what's going on in the Middle East, wherever else. You can pray for them, send love. I mean, that's all we can do. We can't do unless you have the magic wands of magic wands to stop it all, you know? And then with Uranus dipping its toes for 3 months in Gemini, mind evolution, truth evolution, AI, communications, language, multidimensional learning. This is where lightning fast ideology spark and split in seconds, right? So craziness starts coming in with that. And then Neptune's trying to break through the illusions of all of that. So we have to really watch. It's like, do we want to go under another spell? What is that spell? This is where you're going to find old things like communism and socialism and the like try and make their rise up, and people are like, no, that's not what we want. Yet we do have a generation that is like, yeah, okay, I'll sit around. But this is where the learning comes in. This is where harsh learning comes in for them and for the rest of the world, because they find that this is not something that is solid. This is something that is not that you're not able to do. You can't sustain this. And this is what we're going to be finding out. Ah, the world. So my final my final world. There's not This is not the new world. This is just a threshold. We are in a mid transition between the myths we once believed and the reality we are only just beginning to imagine and figure out. Our task now is to grieve what's dying, let it go, stay awake in what's dissolving, grounding our new vision and preparing the body. This is keeping this keep, and keep returning to the truth that's deeper than ego, deeper than identity, deeper than the noise. We're going to find a lot of people are really going to be going back to, and I feel like watching the truth about their food, the identity of their food, and how we are consuming our food. So that's going to be a huge one that's going to be coming in. And where we're like, okay, no, I'm not going. And this is where RFK um is coming up with a lot of things about food and what's in our food and the identity of what's in our food, and really being aware of it. Right now in Calgary here, they're putting fluoride back in our water. Like, and there's an uproar about this. Like, people are like, what the hell? How is this happening? You don't want it. It's toxic. You're not supposed to swallow fluoride. So, yeah. So I think bottled water in that, and different filtration systems are really going to be on the rise in Calgary, where people are going to look for purification for their water. The cosmos isn't just asking us to move forward, it's asking us to finish what we started with the soul, and looking at that soul energy and coming into that soul energy is going to be very important. So, going to send you guys out with so much love. I got a few things I have to do today, and I have to take the little one out for a W. That's the dog. Um, and see how we can come into things. And if you are wanting to join me for the July and August, if you want July and August, it's $75 to join me. Or if you are wanting to have a reading, have a one-on-one or a moon reading, definitely. Moon readings right now are on sale for $44. So, my loves, you guys have a blessed one, and may the Lord Almighty watch over and bless you. Hope this helps you, gives you some guidance on the craziness that's going on and what's going to be unfolding, especially this is just this week. This week, and I did add in a couple other weeks, but the vibe of the energies that are coming forth for us. So, blessings, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Here is the Guru Mama from the laundry room. Blessed be. Bye bye.